And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and lose all sense of time. Feels like we're in a dream, you know what I mean.
Right there, Camp McIntosh.
Yes, indeed, it is Mikey Camp McIntosh, and it is another Monster Monday CFN feature. And of course, it is the 5th annual CFN retreat happening this September. In fact, the 23rd to the 27th. If you're interested, there's still spots available. The information, as you can see, posted on not only this ad, but the one that is on our Facebook page. By all means, folks, if you are interested, or maybe you're curious and you just want to ask a couple questions just to make sure you're on the right page, don't be afraid to ask. By all means, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to the owners, Andre and Tracy, and you can find out everything you need to bring, everything that you're going to need to have a good time, and get yourself booked in a bed. As I said, we'd love to have you. And I know people are sort of jockeying for things to do, especially in the month of September, because that's, usually that month where people sort of reserve for that last minute whatever. Well, let this be your last minute whatever. We'd love to have you up. And as I said, we are honored to have all of our CFNers join us, but not to mention those charter captains that have set up a charter that is available for all those who go to Horwood Lake Lodge as well as Camp McIntosh. We'll be randomly picking anybody that attends either one of those two retreats a chance out on the water with our good buddy Jim and, of course, Jay from Opie and am I even saying that? Probably not. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for returning. We took the Monday off. Just as you can see, the speech lessons didn't help when I was off, but I will certainly try and do my best to pronounce names. Steven, nice to have you along, bud. Always a pleasure, and thanks again for all your sharing. Truly appreciate that. Jim's in the house. How you doing, Jay? Hey, Pete LeDuc. How's everyone? Scotty Walley's fishing been good a lot. Wow, attaboy, 20 inches. Nice. Very nice. Tony's in the house. How you doing, Tony? I will reach out to you at some point this week. I still have not heard from Randy, so I know you're probably going to ask about that. I haven't heard from him yet, so I'm hoping for good news, but I don't think there is any in regards to what's going on with their family. And I'll leave it at that, just because there was a bit of a thing that happened, and I don't want to broadcast it. But anyway, I as I said, I haven't heard from them, so I'm going to assume that no news is bad news. So be patient, pal. I promise we'll get you your bump board. I promise you that. Shane, how you doing, buddy? Nice to have you along. Gary De Silva, there's a man that is very busy along with all of us. Thanks so much for all you do for our community as well as the industry, Gary. Very much appreciated. Speaking of doing things, holy smokes, this man, his back must be sore. I'm going to suggest his back is sore from carrying this community as we're off doing many things, trying to get a bunch of things working. Steve is always there to be the pillar of hope that grounds us and continues to rebuild and build our foundation, which of course is our community, by showcasing and promoting all you wicked anglers out with all of your catches. Keep them coming. By all means, reach out to the inbox. It's just the message button on our Facebook page. You can leave a video, you can leave a picture, and please leave a story. We love sharing the stories of all of your catches. That's really the cool thing. How you doing, Richard? Always a pleasure to have you as well, my friend. Another day on the water. 4 baby channels. Attaboy. Joe Vitani's in the house. Eve's with us. How you doing? Baby fuel comes in an injection needle. Yeah, I've heard about this as well. Nice giveaway item. Absolutely. For those who are interested in that in that kind of scent, by all means, any which way you can get it in and impregnate that plastic, it is a good thing. Sarah, congratulations on your muskie. Nice to see you as well. We were hoping to get that up for Monster Monday, but unfortunately just a little busy this this past week. Mark, always a pleasure. Yes, it is. Couldn't agree more. Oh, there's a whole bunch of you. Look at this. My Lord. James, nice to have you along. You need a CFN beer. No CFN beer mugs, Jeff. Not just yet, Pete, but we will certainly reach out to you when that becomes necessary. Jeff, thanks so much for your intros, videos. I appreciate that. Craig's in the house. Always a pleasure to have you. And, of course, Sparkus. Nice to have you along with this as well. Okay. As I say, lots going on, folks. At the end of the day, the Conquer All Challenge is now done. Thanks so much for all of the participants. We finally got over 150 anglers, 150 out catching a whole whack of fish. We're going to be sharing some of those stats hopefully tomorrow. I have not had a chance to talk to Mike, so I'm not 100% sure what the plan is in regards to, are we giving everything away? Are we just doing a little bit? Have the judges even qualified and verified all of the catches? We will find that all out hopefully tonight so that we can broadcast tomorrow. If not, I guarantee it'll be the following Tuesday that we do everything. But on behalf of Shimano, on behalf of Bob Mahoney and the entire Shimano North America fishing family, they say thanks for all the great promotion, all the great fun, all the great pictures, and, of course, your dedication to keeping competition fun. You know, I mean, we talk a lot about it, and I don't want to digress because we have guests, so I don't want to take all the time. But it's nice to see that there's good, clean competition still existing out there when it comes to fishing tournaments, fishing derbies, online tournaments and derbies. We will be getting to one that I want to bring to your attention as well that just started. But needless to say, the Conquer All Challenge is now done. Mic drop. First of many, I believe, that are going to be happening. So if you enjoyed it and you haven't won a prize just yet, so I guess that has to become part of the feedback and your decision on whether it was a good time. But it was certainly worth it to see all the great photos, all the great memories. So again, thanks to everybody who participated. It was awesome. I also want to announce that the CFN app is now up and running. And again, we have had a whack of folk already download this, and I want to appreciate just show my appreciation to everybody that already has. The importance of this, and it was caught by a good friend. Well, actually, Trevor, who's not my good friend, he's my partner that's helping me put this together, but he's also a very good friend. He reached out to a Saskatchewan group. Can't remember the name of it, but I think it was the YMCA. And their feedback was exactly what we're looking for. It's an educational piece. This app is an educational piece. If you have somebody that you meet at the dock, at the ramp, anywhere, if you're at a house party, a wedding, whatever, and somebody says, you know what I really need is something that I can go to where I can find the regs like that. This is it. And not only is it that, but it also allows the folks to go to the app, change the language. So unfortunately, a translation in the regs, not in all provinces, but in most provinces, a translation of the regs is an interpretation. And if you interpret the regulations incorrectly, you can get yourself in a heck of a lot of trouble. So we don't want that. We don't want that. Basically, however you are translating your, currently, whatever app you're using, whatever platform, you can still use it. We're going to navigate you to the regs so that you can cut and paste, put it in whatever Google Translate or whatever button or app that you're using, and you yourself can translate those regs yourself, because as I said, that will be your interpretation. We will certainly have a message button and feature on the app so you can try and reach out. We may not be able to answer you in your native language, but we will certainly do our best to try and guide you. But at the end of the day, we are simply a resource base that is trying to get anglers that don't typically speak English and French access to the regs, which has never been done before in this country, and it's long overdue. So as I said, it is the first step in what I hope and the rest of the team hopes is many. What we're hoping is eventually all of the regs will be available in all the languages. I know that's time, I know that's money, and hopefully we get the consent from government to do so, but it is as it is right now. This is our way of welcoming a whole unit, a whole community of anglers that have never been spoken to because they don't speak English and French. So it's a first step in many, and I am looking forward to seeing this through to the end, because this is a long time dream of mine is to finally get an app like this where it is educating folks on the need to know before you throw. That's the key. So with that, by all means, download it. And the only ask I have of you, if you have downloaded it, please share it. There's so many people out there that need this information, that want this information. So by all means, please, please, please share it. I also want to bring to your attention, of course, now that the weekend series is pretty much wrapped up and all that's left is the championship weekend. This is a new event that is being hosted by the NCAA team, which of course is Danny and myself. I want to thank all of our great sponsors that have help promote this and have jumped on board as they always do. But this is the Triple Crown, and how it works is it's valid across Ontario waters. So if you live in the province of Ontario and plan on fishing Ontario waters, by all means, please sign up for this. You have to go to fishdonkey.com. So www.fishdonkey.com. It is a catch and release tournament, and the best part about it is how this all comes to be. It's brand new. Well, I shouldn't say brand new, but it's kind of new in its existence. Here's why. So you get a stringer of 3 bass and 3 walleye. Only 1 pike can be entered, and it's the biggest pike. It runs from June 27th, so it's already started, to July 31st. So lots of time still to enter. As I said, you just got to go over to fishdonkey.com. All cash payouts at this point, and it's based on the number of participants. It is a $70 entry fee. And as I said, if you are catching bass, if you're catching pike, if you're catching walleye, and you want to, a little taste of competition, this is the best opportunity. At the end of the day, folks, we can't keep Canada fishing if we don't get Canada fishing. So this is our attempt to do that. And again, I want to thank Danny and of course Mike Cutson and a whole bunch of others that have helped get the word out. But this is a really cool opportunity. As I said, if you're fishing anyway, it's a chance to win some money. And as I said, it's a $70 entry fee. And the idea is it's all paid out in prizes. So again, very cool challenge. It is the Triple Crown, and we're really proud because this is something that Danny and I and Mayor Lisa, who really mentioned it, who was the one that sort of lit the wick on this. Really proud of it because I think this is going to be quite something. With that being said, I think I am all done the announcements. As I said, for those who are interested in joining us at one of our retreats, by all means, please reach out to me. I know Richard has been doing a fabulous job pointing people in the right direction, and all others who have been doing the same. We can't thank you enough for that because, as I said, the more the merrier, and a full house is the best house. So we look forward to that. All right, we got Big Jim coming up right after this.
When he was born, he tried to reel in the umbilical cord. Bass named him as their personal best. His power pole came with a stripper. Forward-facing sonar uses him to find fish. Chuck Norris is his co-angler. He is the most interesting fisherman in the world. Stay fishing, my friends.
What's up, good looking?
Eh? You still are the most interesting angler in the world, eh?
I have my moment.
Look at you go, buddy. Well, I'll tell you how I know this. This is how I know, because stuff like this is shared on social media. That's our good buddy Adrian, who says, I'm grateful for guys like Big Jim. I looked up to this guy. Of course, others too. His stories and knowledge about fishing is awesome. Never a dull moment, and a big thank you for all you do.
Bottom of my heart, buddy.
There you
I
go,
look like drunk in that picture. The hat's on crooked. Scotty just had to put me in my place.
No, I will say this though. If you look a little glass-eyed, it's probably because Adrian is a very giving person. He's a very generous person. So you may have had a sip or two. Who knows? Needless to say, Jim, what have you like? I mean, I could share a picture like this, and we know you've been out fishing, and I think it's so awesome to see you out fishing. By the way,
you know what? Not one person questioned that fish weighing almost 5 pounds.
Well, who the heck am I to question that, Jim? But
I posted in the thing. I said I forget exactly, but I said not a bad way to start lunch or passing off. Just shy of 5 pounds. The only person who questioned it was my buddy Ed, who was storing his boat in the backyard here. He sold it today. Yeah. I saw him sitting in his truck counting out $18,000 in cash. I told him, you can't count that high.
So tell us a little bit about this fish, the significance of the fish, and of course the presentation and all the gear you were using.
It was the first one. I've only been down the back. I've just been crazy busy, just everything in life. Like when I go down there some nights, I'm just like the pain that I am in. Like I get into the pain clinic on the 17th. I think it's the 17th, 16th or 17th. I'm not quite sure, but I'm just praying that it works this time like it did last time. I know it doesn't work for a long time, and I can only have this crap every 6 months. That's the bad part about it. I was going to ask them when I go, in fact, can you just, give me a needle full of stuff to take home with the freezing? Because the best 3 hours of my life are when I come out of there and it's all frozen. Because then my body doesn't know what's happening. Yeah. It's so funny. You walk out of there, you go in, and you come out, and you're walking through the parking lot like a human being. And then 3 hours later, right down.
I hear you, pal. Yeah, I don't envy you.
I was out the back there. I was checking a few things around down there. It's like so sickeningly overgrown. It's scary. It's pretty cool. But our buddy Jeff Dix, who drops in here once in a while because his in-laws are over here on whitefish, eh?
Yeah.
And he, I don't know if I have any of them kicking here. I cleaned his drawer out the other day. I gave a bunch of kids some stuff and everything else, and I look in here, and it's still so full. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I got one bag. It just seems to keep coming. But nothing wrong with that, though.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised you have anything left for the amount you give away.
There's
sweet.
There's the frog and that's it. We talked about it before, and that's it. It rigs up weedless on that BKK hook. Really nice. You can see where I got the point buried, and if you see the shape of the hook, it fits into it. Let me get it over here. You can see the shape. It's just perfect. And you can just see it tucked back in there. Yeah. But I was never big on weedless frogs, and your buddy makes one, so you try it. And I got no problem. Every fish I caught out the back so far has been on this.
Wow.
I've thrown other frogs in that too, and it's really, really nice. I'm happy with the rod. No problem with the rod. And I'll tell you, after about 10 minutes of fishing, the reel was just an extension of my hand again.
So I got to ask you, because you were really big. Well, you were first big on the boxes, but then you sent me a text and said these 7 reels are really starting.
Hey, I did check it. I took the box, the spinning reel box, and I put it on the floor here with a 2x4, and I stood on opposite ends of it, and the box didn't collapse. So anybody ever says that they get a 7 reel in the mail and the reel got broken in the mail, I ain't buying it.
Good to know.
If it holds me up, it's going to hold up anybody. But yeah, it's amazing how just in a short period of time, I don't even notice the difference.
Is that right?
In my hand after 40 years, but I mean the stuff changed every 2 years anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things about it. But 7 reels were engineered in the United States by St. Croix, and they are built in the Orient, but they're not built in a routine factory either. I had that explained to me, and we'll delve into them more in the future. But I'm zero problems. It's not gonna. I always thought it would be a factor finding something else that would make me happy, and I have no problem. And these rods, the elite rods from Streamside, I don't know whether you can see the name. They're the whole thing is just. I just love it. I love it. I have no problem with it. Like they were going to send me over a bunch of stuff, and he said to me, "Why don't you wait till I cast in another week, and we'll send you all new stuff." So I said, too easy to do. Too easy to do. Yeah.
So now I'm going to show a couple pictures here, and when I cycle through these, are
these the ones from me being arrested with Lawrence last weekend?
Oh, I'm not going to show those just yet. You haven't given me enough blackmail money, or at least Lawrence has anyway. Lawrence hasn't anteed up, but that might be why he's away tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
Johnny Dadson from Dadson Blade Baits. I tied the hair on that. He did all the bending, the sinkers, the wires, the blading, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next lure, that's a spinner. This one here, Pete Bosselman did that one. He's the other cog in the wheel at Dadson Blade Baits. He did that one and donated it. And then our buddy Jonathan Taylor donated this, which is just really, really cool. That's an 18-inch Aqualung. These things are designed for the ocean. These things are designed to have something that's serious yanking on them. And when you put, I had no concept. I had a couple he had gifted me years ago, but they were like top water type baits and poppers and that, so it's not the same. But when you see something that is made from hardwood and has the line ties in it at the front, the different line ties, the wire through construction. I think I showed you before the way when you wobble it sideways, you hear it, you hear the rattle and stuff like that. So we auctioned this all off, and I got to give you the other stuff. This was done, the guys let us do this on to get to a bigger market. It was done on get to it here to be sure I get the name right.
Crazy big indeed, Scott. Massive.
The Black Sales Market, and it's pretty well all musky guys. You have to be a member. It isn't open to the public, so we did it on there. And what was so nice about it, this was to raise some money to make up for things that are missing in my life as giveaways to kids and stuff like that. To be sure, I always have some stuff because I was really, you know, when you drive past South Lake down here at the culvert there where we see the swans running there. So I drive by there and there's a family there, and there's 4 of them and they got 1 fishing rod.
Okay.
And I don't have fishing rods to stop and give them anymore.
So there's that.
That's what brought this about. Okay. So anyways, it was held on that site though. Jonathan Taylor donated the 18-inch Aqualung, which would have to be a commissioned work, and you have to pay up front for it. It's close to $400 US.
Jeez. For
that lure. Okay. Johnny Dadson tied the Double Trouble hair by Big Jim, which you saw. Bosselman tied the Boo Dadley BD10 hair by Big Jim. Or no, not that one. That one's the hair by Big Jim. And then we had, as it went on, Zach, I'm not sure how to pronounce Zach's last name here, Zach Mundick from ZM Baits. He put in a Peach Glide, which is like a glide bait. And another guy, Andrew Lothar from DMT DH Shad Glider, he donated the lure too. So in the end, we had 5 lures in the auction where they had to buy, they had to just, put in your $20 and you take your chance. And, first round got first choice, and they went from there. Anyway, last night, Pete called me. He said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yeah." And he transferred me $1,130, which was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see. I think it was 113 guys put in, bought tickets in the raffle. So that's the office. So I'm gonna go down to try. I'm not gonna make it next week now because of a bunch of things, but the week after, I'm going to go down and I'm going to walk in the Streamside. And one of the things I'm going to buy is I'm going to buy like $600 worth of little kiddies rods and reels that I can fill up the shelf in the garage with. I've had a couple of other people come to the dish with some different stuff for me since we did that, which was really nice. And then I'll have an envelope with some money, and whenever I have a chance to pick up stuff cheap, or I need more stuffies or whatever like that, it's out there, and I have no problem getting it. And I just thought it was wonderful, and it's so funny because they all said the same thing to me. Hey, when you run out of that, let us know. We'll just do it again. So that's the community supporting the community, and that's what fishing's all about. When to a lot of people, you don't realize, you're a guy that just goes and sits by the bank and hopes to catch a catfish on Sunday afternoon. You don't realize really what's behind it all and the way it supports itself and things that people will do and donate in their time. I saw some guys posting pictures here on the weekend. They had one of the guys in town here, Kingston here, brought out a lady and her kid just the kid talked to him. I'm assuming he's a mechanic, so I'm assuming while he was fixing a broken car, talked and the kid said that he liked fishing and whatever, and the mother, and he said, well, hey, how about I take you up, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday morning, whatever it was, and he rolled them out to one of the lakes here close by here and just brought them out for a couple hours. The kid caught a 3-pound largemouth bass, so he was ecstatic, because he always wanted to go fishing. So it's really, really cool to see it support itself.
Well, as I said, Jim, and anybody who's watching will attest that I'm not speaking fables here. At the end of the day, you paved that way for all of us to take and follow. When it comes to getting kids into fishing, when it comes to getting anybody for that matter into fishing, I don't think anybody in this country has tried harder at doing that and achieving that than you have, pal. And obviously, it doesn't matter where you are in your progression of life, you still stick to it. And this is something that I've admired right from day one, is all of the work that you do for kids, and you continue to do. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, you're already thinking of how you're going to give back.
Like I had a buddy come here visit me. I hadn't seen him for a long time. He was headed to Toronto, and he said to me, he's a private detective, like a real big time private detective. Like he was showing me, he just got an expense check from one of the insurance companies for 85 grand, that type of thing. And he said, I said to myself, every time I go to Toronto, I drive down Highway 15. He said, if you ever see me, you're going to beat me senseless on the spot going by your house 2 minutes away. So I see this car pull in the laneway, and I'm not going to mention names, but he pulls in the laneway, and I looked at him. I said, oh my God. I said to Tammy, I said, hey, it's so-and-so, eh? She said, oh, really? And he goes to the front door, and we're in the office here. So I yelled over to him. He comes over. He says, where are you, you fat bastard? What I hear comes from the front of the house. So anyways, he dropped in, and he was talking about just that. He saw some stuff here just kicking around the office, and he saw one of the lures that was here for me to mail to one of the people who would get it. And I showed him the big one, which I have here. And in fact, the guy that got it is from Cambridge, who won it, and he's got to go to Arnprior here on Thursday.
Jeez.
So he goes up Highway 15 to go into Ottawa first before he goes to Arnprior. So he said he's going to come. He's going to just drop by, and we'll get a picture of me giving it to him. So that'll be cool. But he said to me, do you still do all that stuff for kids? And he looks at me and he says, I never saw anybody, they have an event or something, but he said, it seems to be, he said, you could be retired now with the money you've spent on kids events. And I said, yeah, probably. But it's what it is. Yeah. When you do it
at the end of the day, it is what has really set you apart. And that's not a slight to anybody else, but when it comes to kids and getting kids into fishing, man, I'll tell you. How many years of that pond at the Ottawa show?
31 years of the pond itself, the pond, and so many other things. I mean, this one down here is up to what, 11 now?
Yeah.
They add up. You just keep doing it. You keep enjoying it. And I'm fortunate with this one here because it's so close. The access is so easy and everything. Plus I have my army now, so that's even greater. I feel
absolutely.
I got my shirt.
You have a basic one volunteer for every angler that shows up. You got so much help. It's unbelievable.
I know it's all. Well, there was at the beginning, the first couple of years that I did it, the guys from a couple of the fishing clubs in Kingston came, and we had 68 or 69 kids at one of them, and there had to be that many people because someone commented over adults allowed to fish too because they saw in the pictures it was so many adults. And I said, no, it's guys helping the kids so they can fish. Yeah. So they learn how to fish. So they know how to take the worm off or put the worm on the hook, take the fish off the hook without killing it, stuff like that. Hey, speaking of that, I got to show you something. I should have wrote this down here so I didn't forget. I was thoroughly disgusted with a member of the fishing community. And come on. And I couldn't say anything. So I blacked out the face and everything. But the guy's bragging about the big pike that he caught on the weekend. And here's the picture he puts up. Like the days of holding the pike by its eyes and talking about it was released alive, it was fine. Imagine me holding you up by the eyes and say, "Oh yeah, no, Scotty's okay. He's gone back to Toronto."
Yeah.
You in the first poll because you couldn't see, you know, like I don't know, just drives me nuts.
It is, Jim, you're 100% right. And again, it's a great segue. And folks, as I said, we will be spending a lot of time on this app, and it'll be stuff like this: how to hold your fish properly, how to properly measure a fish, how to properly weigh a fish. This is going to be an educational app with all of these intentions, so that at the end of the day, we don't have to hear people say, "I didn't know." Well, you should have, and we're trying to make it as easy as possible.
Well, you should take the time, look, just like people get caught and they say, "Oh, I didn't know it was out of season." Well, you should know. You're going fishing. Shouldn't you know the rules? Do you know what you're going to shoot if you go hunt? You have to take a test to go hunting, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
you have to identify ducks, silhouettes, and stuff like that. Obviously, you're not going in the field and shooting a 400-pound beef cow and trying to sneak it in the truck and get out before they find you.
100%.
You have to know what's going on, and you shouldn't be. I saw another one with a guy holding up a muskie, a little tiger muskie, and he was holding by the gill, but he was holding it up and down, and some guys got bent out of shape. And just to look at the guy, you could tell he's in a little tin boat. He needs the kind words. He doesn't need guys saying to him, "Well, it's not going to live now that you caught it," and just stuff like that, eh? And a couple of guys went on and said, "Hey, man, not to bug you, absolute great fish. Just in the future, if you think of it, try to hold them horizontal. Like it wasn't a big one, so probably wouldn't affect it because it was a small one. But I mean, I've got pictures of me when I first started muskie. I got pictures of me holding a dead fish. It's what happened. We've learned so much. We've come so far that it should really be looked at."
Well, what a segue for the last video I have to share, and of course, it has to come from the Linder family. But before we get to that, Scott wanted to share he had 65 kids at my Father's Day tournament. Wow, it was a little girl.
Awesome,
muskie. That's awesome stuff, Scott.
How big was it, Scott?
I'd love to see a picture of it, to be quite honest with you, pal. If you could send us one, go to the Facebook page after we're done live. Just press the message button and send it to us. We would love to highlight something like that. That kind of work, Scott, is what we like to promote, and we need more of it. With that being said, of course, Jim, I know I want to get you out of here at a half decent hour. You've had one of those typical Mondays, so I don't want to keep you. But based on what you just said, there is a time and a place. And when it comes to direction, when it comes to advice, just make sure you understand that you're an angler too, and you don't want to rub somebody the wrong way. And I think our
give them a bad taste about fishing. Geez, if I catch a fish, am I going to get yelled at?
100%.
Patience is really tested this time of year. But my biggest piece of advice, you as an angler, you are the most experienced, you know the most about boats, you know the most about boat ramps, you know the most about, accesses, you know the most about trailers, you know the most about navigating on the lake, any of the above. You are kind of the master of this domain, so act like it. It's easy to get upset at the people who are doing dumb stuff out there, but you got to have a little bit of grace, a little bit of patience. If you consider yourself to be, a good human being, I think that's one thing we all want to practice, is just being patient and being graceful with other people. So when you're at the boat ramp and you've got people just doing dumb stuff, like be kind, be helpful. That's a novel concept to some people. Like maybe you get out and you help someone back a boat in, or you help someone get their boat on a trailer or something like that. Always keep an eye out, because there's a lot of people out on the lake that are driving around who don't really understand the rules of the road.
Anything? Yeah, I was going to say, well said.
He came to Andy's show there a few years back with Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
He came a couple of years, in fact. He used to tag along and do the seminars, and he was just a gem. And he chose to go his own way too. It's really cool, right?
It is.
He got away from the family and did his own thing, and it's really cool. But great guy.
And really, at the end of the day, I think that's some great advice for all of us, not just people that need it, but people that like us, to remind us that what, we have to be a little bit understanding to new anglers, folks who just bought their new boat. They don't have a clue how to drive it, even though they passed a test. Yes, they should know. Yes, they should be more aware. But at the end of the day, we all had to start somewhere as well. So I think it's a great lesson, some great advice that's shared there by Nick.
So a couple of weeks ago, we had those big storms.
Yes.
It was they just revealed that not far from here there was 2 touchdowns by tornadoes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they've come in. I saw the trucks around here too, from the government and everything looking. And I told you I went to the dump, and I saw pine trees right at the side of the road, probably 20 inches, maybe a little more. Beautiful white pine, and where they're disappearing from the ground, the wood is twisted. And that wasn't even enough to make it be an F1. They were tornadoes. They had the rotation.
Yeah.
They showed where they bounced and landed all the way down. They showed all the spots that they've examined. But I probably saw, I don't know, 50 giant trees. There's places on the road to the dump where it's just a back road, where they've just brought a big pit loader or something and just pushed it all into the bush. But I'm talking like trees, Scotty, that are as big around as you and me put together. And they're just snapped off. Just snap. But these white pines,
it's hard to believe. Holy smokes.
These white pines, let me tell you, buddy, you could see the twist on it. And I mean, no rot there. The wood is white. It's clean. It's beautiful. And yet here there was barely a branch knocked off. It was wicked, but there was barely a branch. I mean, it took the garbage cans, and there's a guy down the street here has a trampoline in his backyard, and it ended up right down the main street of town here. Some guy has a movie of it rolling down the street. Get out of the way.
And of course, not to take away from what the folks out west have been dealing with in the province of Saskatchewan, the edge of Alberta and Manitoba. You folks have been dealing not with landspouts like Jim is describing, but of course, baseball-sized hail, incredible wind, and of course, the odd F2 and F3 tornado.
Ottawa was absolutely inundated with floods. They were shown on the news tonight.
Yeah.
Whole city blocks. They're there with big pit loaders once again, lifting the garbage and dumping it into dump trucks to take away. Everybody's showing their basement with the gyprock cut off halfway up. So, it's just a mess.
Unbelievable. No, you're 100%. Yeah, downdraft. You're right. David could do that as well. True. But,
they came in and it was a downdraft that they ripped the roof off my old farmhouse.
Geez.
When I went up after the storm passed, I went up in the attic and I'm looking out the hole, like tore the roof right off the house.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, as always, buddy, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for all you do and continue to do. And as I said, it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to share a half an hour each Monday night with you, as well as the rest of the community.
Goes both ways, guys.
Right on, pal. Well, you have yourself a great week. Get some rest, my friend.
I will. Take care, guys.
All the best. We don't have Lawrence tonight. We have Jay Barnucz coming up right after a word from his sponsor.
MaxScent is better because of its scent dispersion. It's that simple. It's a type of material that allows the chemicals we put in there to ooze out quicker, and it creates a larger scent field faster. That brings fish to the bait. And then, the perfect lure is always, they see it, they come close, they smell it. Since fish do not have arms, they test things with their mouths. So he puts it in his mouth, done. The scent and flavor just got him. FluxGill, its unique thing is that it has the holes in it, right? And it creates surface area that's way more than if that was a non-perforated bait. Why is that important? Surface area is important because the more water contacts that bait, the more scent is getting into the water and quicker. And that's why that amount of surface area will get you fish when it's tougher, but it'll also catch you more fish when it's not tough.
On the road again.
Yeah, man. What's up?
I can see that Jay's on the road again. Attaboy.
Yeah, man. Busy.
Are you able to tell us where you're at and what you're doing, or
Maybe. Let me close that blind a bit. That might be good. That's
in
better.
case somebody's listening?
I'm in London tonight. London for the week.
Okay, right on.
So, yep. So I'm working on the Thames River again and surveying mussels. Is this part of the project? We're going to do fish later in the summer. So
Nice.
yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's been a really busy summer. I haven't had much time off. Not a lot of time to go fishing. So did get out a bit last week. Got out for about 7 hours in the kayak on Friday, which was nice. It was hot, buddy, hot. But that's how it goes. But yeah, but we've been busy with other stuff like opening weekend. We had the Big Bass Derby in Long Point. You needed a 5-pound smallmouth to make the top 10 because it's big fish individual prize, right? So it's top 10. First place is $1,000, and then they go down from there to top 10. So to make the top 10, I think the smallest one was 4.8 pounds. But basically, you need a 5-pound smallmouth to make the top 10. And then largemouth biggest fish was over 5 for $1,000. And I think you needed at least over 4-pound largemouth. And to be honest, it's a lottery ticket, man. Like it's you spend your $15. You can order the tickets online. This happens out of Long Point Bay, actually out of the McDonald Turkey Point Marina. And if you go on the Long Point Bay Anglers Facebook page, you'll see all the highlights from it. They sold, I don't know, a few hundred tickets. Now what they do is the money raised, they take 50% of the proceeds and goes towards a local charity. Nice. The other 50% is split between the Long Point Bay Anglers and the Erie Bassmasters. And then most of that money goes to charity. So that's awesome. In the past, they've made donations to the Norfolk Association for Community Living. So those are for like challenged folks. The Hospital Foundation, London Children's Hospital, all kinds of great charities that get that. So, and all of it's done. None of it. This is not to make any money. This is literally just to. One thing it does put towards is keeping the live release boat functioning. But paying for insurance, paying for fees for that kind of stuff, paying for the oxygen tanks, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's a fun event. It happens opening day of bass season in zone for Lake Erie every year. So I haven't fished at opening day in 10 years. I've been volunteering for this event. So wow. It's incredible. Yeah. So that was opening day of bass season, Scotty. And then this past, I have to share this with you, man. This is pretty impressive. Okay. Let me see if I can, so I'm not working in my wonderful home office where I can I can see everything, right?
You have several screens. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Okay. Can you see that?
I sure can.
Okay. I can't see you though, so I don't have you on the other screen. So if you need me to stop, I'll stop. But
nope.
Anyways. Okay. So I want to give a shout out to Cody Colfax. A lot of folks know who Cody is. Cody is the organizer of the Erie Bassmasters. They had a tournament this past weekend, yesterday on Lake St. Clair. Good Lord. What a wet day for 11 teams, 5 junior teams, 6 high school teams from all across Ontario, actually, not just Erie area. There's one thing that Cody does a great job of is he's great at getting – if you are a high school Bassmaster member or a junior Bassmaster member, any high school club, you can fish any other club. That's how it's always been with OBN. That's how it's always been with the junior program. So these are basically open events. Now, what Cody has to do is he has to get captains and such to make that happen. And he did. And all the captains came out. There was some issues with captains' boats the day before. They got it fixed. Cody's doing a great job with that club. Okay, So here's the winners of the high school division. Michael Florio and Nolan Killo, 15.41 pounds. And our very own CFNer, Mark Thompson. Sparkus Fisher was the captain.
Nice.
And you can see Cody there on the left. And I think you can see the MC on the right. You know who that guy is. So
yeah.
Yeah. Wearing his signature Crocs. That's how he gives it away.
That's awesome. Way to go, Trevor. Good job, pal.
Yeah. So shout out to, I saw pictures of Chris Corbett from the Kitchener-Waterloo Bassmasters. He was the weighmaster. The Erie Bassmasters loaned the scales to the event. I know the Raytrowskis were captains of a team yesterday. Oh my God. I'm going to go through some of them are captains here, but shout out to all the people because the weather was a little ugly. If anyone is on Instagram, go check out Trevor's Instagram story and the monsoon that he fished in. And he loves his new Mustang rain suit. That's for sure.
That's hilarious.
So congrats to Mike and to Nolan. That's great. 15.41 pounds. Okay. Next team. Second place was Chris Cole and Weston Underhill, 15.19 pounds with Captain Luke Sanders. Look how wet everyone is, man.
Oh yeah. Everybody's soaked.
So like even good rain suits have a limit. You know what I mean? I don't care what anyone says about Mustangs are my favorite rain suit, no affiliation, but I've owned Sims, I've owned Bass Pro, great rain suits out there. But when it's blowing hard like that and raining hard, man, only so much they can take. Anyways, congrats to Cole, to Chris, and to Weston. Now look at these guys.
Nice.
Look at these guys. Chase Colfax and JJ Dearden won the junior division with Captain Aaron Hathaway. Aaron and his wife, they fish a bunch of the tournaments locally in Long Point and Mitchell's Bay and Lake St. Clair, all those places. And Aaron was the captain for these guys. And they got first place. And if you noticed, 15.41 pounds versus 17.5 pounds. Hello.
Oh, wow.
These two guys knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park.
Did they ever?
And, dude, I love this picture. I think I love the picture of them dragging the weigh bag to the scales more than this one with the plaques. Although the plaques are pretty sweet. I have to admit, those are some pretty sweet plaques donated from the Erie Bassmasters and Long Point Banglers. But look at that weigh bag dragging it across the parking lot. That's amazing. So good job to these two guys, Chase and JJ. And then
thanks for pointing out the weight, by the way. I didn't even realize the weight. That's amazing.
Right?
Well done.
Right. That's what Cody told me. Cody's like, check out the weights on the juniors. And look at these second place juniors got 16.5 pounds. Isaac and Cohen by their captain, Mike Lambrick. Look at that.
Jeez.
Killing it. Killing it.
Moving
I don't know what anyone used. I haven't got any updates on that. I just wanted to share just some of these young guys, these young sticks, and the fish that they're catching, man. It is just amazing and impressive. Impressive.
So David is asking for his son Hunter. What age? Do you have to be a high schooler, or does it matter? Or
no, you just have to be a Bass Nation member. And I think juniors, it depends on the club. You'd have to, David, reach out to Cody Colfax. He's in the chat tonight. I got Isaac on the left. Sorry, Cody. Hey, there you go. Doing my best. Reach out to Isaac. Reach out to Cody, David, and you can connect with Cody. Now there are clubs in Mississauga. There's also clubs in Hamilton as well. And York has a club. Peterborough has a club. There are clubs across Ontario. So, but reach out to Anthony Dubé at the Ontario Bass Nation. And David, if you can remember this, youth@OntarioBassNation.com. youth@OntarioBassNation.com. And that'll get you in touch with Anthony. And he's kind of the gatekeeper to all the clubs as well and can answer your questions there. So, yeah, it's a great program. Now, all the clubs are run a little bit different because some clubs have their own captains, some clubs don't. It's all volunteer run, so they do what they can. I know that some clubs only have high school divisions. Some clubs, because it's hard to get volunteers out to take all the kids out. The last thing you want to do is leave kids on the dock, man. Like that is the last thing you want to do. So it's yeah, there you go. Junior division killing it. So
And if I'm not mistaken, there is a group down the Windsor way. I don't know, is it Chatham or is it
there's a border city club now formed out of the Windsor area. Go on the Ontario Bass Nation website, guys. Honestly.
Yeah. Forget what the name
go
is.
on the Ontario Bass Nation website, and all the clubs are listed on the Ontario Bass Nation website. Yeah.
You were right.
Now I don't know if they have a junior or high school club down there, but they do have kids that age, and I think they've entered some kids of that age. They may not have a formal club,
Right.
but this I guess the main Steve, perfect, man. Thank you. So the big thing about all of this, Scotty, is it's growing incredibly fast. This August 22nd, I believe, we're hosting the qualifier in Long Point again. Dude, you should come down. Come hang out in Long Point, man. You should totally come down. There's probably going to be 30 boats there.
Wow.
We're hosting it in Turkey Point. I'll be working backstage, checking fish care. It's going to be a fun time. Even if you just come down for the day, dude, come down for the day, hang out. There'll be some great fish caught, and you're going to meet some incredible kids and their parents. And there's always a good crowd down there. So absolutely.
Sounds like a plan. I almost promise. And you said, is it, what date? What's the date roughly? Do you know?
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you the exact date. So it's August 22nd, 23rd.
I don't see why I won't be able to go because our retreat will have finished our retreat. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely. That sounds like a friggin' plan to go see.
Yeah,
some
dude,
kids.
come down. We'll especially if you can make it on the Sunday for the big day 2 weigh-in and we'll announce all the winners and all that stuff. And I encourage anyone, come down to Turkey Point Marina in August for this event and just come watch the weigh-in. We're going to have a huge stage set up, loudspeakers, the flag will be flying, O Canada in the morning, the whole bit. And then all these kids are going to bring in all these huge fish and we're going to weigh them in and we're going to announce who is going to go to the next high school championship representing Ontario at that event. That's going to happen right there in Turkey Point on the 22nd. So
Friggin' cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. I would love to go, Cody. I appreciate the invite, and you can count up there. Great stuff.
I gotta share a couple other things, man.
Good. It looks like you're going to have a big segment because I got a few others that I'm going to share with you that our good buddy George.
Okay, I'm going to share one more thing, and this is just completely off the cuff here that I found this today. Okay, you know what a weather nut I am, and Jim touched on it, right?
Yep.
Jim touched on the weather. Dude, check this out. This happened last night in Lake Erie. So you're going to see here, there's Peely, Point Peely right there. Okay. Yeah. There's Colchester. This is Peely Island right here. This is Kelly's Island. It's a very famous island for walleye in the Western Basin. Dude, they got 15 inches of rain in 6 hours last night.
Holy smokes.
This storm circled over that island for almost 6 hours, like a cyclone. Like a cyclone, dude.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that's incredible. So we had some crazy weather on the weekend. I didn't get out and do a lot of fishing this week because the weather was kind of crap. It was really windy. There was storms brewing all around us. And I don't know what's going on with the weather in Ontario it was during the heat wave. It was actually nice because other than the odd thunderstorm, it was hot, but you could do stuff.
Yeah.
And then the weekend was just up and down, man. Up and down with storms everywhere and tons of rain, but not everywhere, right? But that Kelly's Island was last night. I can't believe we didn't get something like that didn't hit us in Southern Ontario, but that was incredible. So it's
Those
wild.
are the kind of rains you see during a hurricane or a tropical storm event. You don't see typical rain dumping that much in one place.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wild, eh? Absolutely wild. So I've never seen anything like that before in my time. But anyways, I just wanted to share that, just kind of a stupid weather fact that you don't see that very often, right? So,
well,
yeah,
Steve,
Steve,
it's a
you
great
can tag along,
segue.
Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. I just mentioned that. With that being said, this is a great segue because I think all of this has been uplifting. This is going to be a little bit of a negative swing, so I apologize,
All right, I got
everybody.
you.
But at the end of the day, Jay and I had talked about this, and I was actually going to talk about it with Lawrence, but unfortunately he couldn't make it tonight. But this is something that we all sort of need to pay attention of, because at the end of the day, it's important that we do. It's important for your health that we do.
Yeah.
Heat we have been feeling for the past week or so. Many have been heading out to the beach or the river, but record rainfall on Canada Day sent sewage flowing into the Ottawa River, and that has caused some water quality concerns, at least in the short term.
So with that being said, of course, Jim mentioned it, how much water they received, how much rain they received in Ottawa. You just showed how much, and we have to understand that when we have these major weather events, our infrastructure right now with the populations that we have that border all of our Great Lakes aren't set up to house, contain, or properly cleanse some of the wastewater that gets sent down to our treatment plants. So they do have to offload quite a bit. And obviously the numbers we don't know, I'm not going to share them, but at the end of the day, they have to offload quite a bit. When you hear that, when you hear those kind of numbers being shared, this is my concern.
Don't eat the bass out of Lake Washington. Don't eat the carp, the cutthroat trout, or the northern pike minnow either. Same goes for fish in Lake Sammamish and Lake Meridian. Washington State has slapped a flat-out do not eat warning on them, and the reason should worry every angler in the West. The culprit is PFAS, forever chemicals. For decades, they were used in nonstick pans, waterproof gear, and firefighting foam. They're called forever chemicals because the molecule is so strong that almost nothing in nature breaks it down. So they wash into our lakes, they build up in fish and accumulate in us. They're linked to kidney and other cancers, thyroid disease, high cholesterol, low birth weight in babies. In Lake Washington, smallmouth bass levels tested at more than triple the safe limit.
Now, I don't want to be a prognosticator of bad things to come, and I know that's Washington State, but that is concerning to me when you hear the level of concern that is being shared.
Actually, Washington State agency? Like, is it really?
Yeah, I found it very difficult to listen to. It's quite a long video, but he goes on with other things and events and this, that, and everything else. But just the very fact that, of course, when we are talking about these rain events and we are talking about the effluent that is unfortunately having to be offloaded because our system just can't handle it. Unfortunately, we're offloading stuff like that, even though it's been, regulated. Let's face it, it's still out there. And if they're a forever chemical, they're going to stick around forever. That's the whole idea of it. We need to be mindful of what we're putting down the drain. I know this is a PSA opportunity, but this is what we're dealing with. And of course, we do not have what I would consider manageable rainfalls anymore. They're epic. They're like you just talked about. And unfortunately, we're not set up to deal with it.
Yeah, I think, well, listen, some of this stuff's getting better though. Like I'm telling you, so I know that some people wonder about why I work on these mussels. Okay. And here's what I've learned about mussels. Okay, so fish live, what's an average fish gonna live? 10, like a big sport fish, 10, 20 years tops. Dude, these mussels, they live 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, some of them. Okay. They are like, and people might joke when I say this, they're like sentinel beings out there. Okay. They have lived through the good times, the bad times, and the soon to be better times again. They are survivors. We have seen some of the recent data in freshwater mussels suggest that, and these are especially dealing with some of the rare species of mussels, not the common ones, that they're actually, other than there are some that are in still decline, but quite a few of them are coming back, Scotty. And these
Good.
are Southern Ontario rivers mostly, which have a lot of pressure. The Thames, the Sydney, like they all have these same sewage issues you're talking about. When you get big storms in London, when you get big storms in Windsor, big storms in Kitchener, Waterloo. Now they're not as old as the sewer systems aren't as old as those in Ottawa or Toronto, but there's going to be overflows. In fact, there's sewage running into these rivers every day. It's treated, but that's reality. Like that's if you dilution is the solution to pollution, right? We've heard that joke before. It's not a joke. It's true.
It's true.
But things are doing really well out there, and I think that some of this, I get it. Yeah, forever chemicals are out there. There's issues with microplastics and things that we're consuming. But if you listen, dude, I really get kind of heated about this kind of stuff because a lot of this is about moderation. We know, like, listen to the stories we've heard. These aren't even stories. These are facts about some of the fishing guides up north who just plain ate too many walleye in natural lakes. You know, the mercury levels in natural lakes are worse than those in like lakes down in reservoirs in Southern Ontario.
Great point. Great point.
I think a lot of this is about moderation. I think that, you know, if you just ate walleye every day out of Lake Erie for the rest of your life, you probably wouldn't do well. Probably if you ate the same food every day the rest of your life, you probably wouldn't do well. I think a lot of this is about moderation, and a lot of it is kind of being sensible too, you know. I don't know. This isn't the same thing, Scotty, but like when I get talking about health stuff, because I know I've been on this little health journey, man, and it is so easy to get caught up in some of this stuff, and that's why I get kind of grumpy about it. You know, you hear guys talking about, oh, don't drink Diet Coke because, you know, aspartame will kill you. Well, so will too much sugar. Right?
I'd be dead if that was the case.
The diabetes will get you. Okay. You know, I think, and yeah, like David's McDonald's, eat stuff once in a while, moderation. It's fine. You're going to be just fine. You know, to consume enough aspartame for it to harm me, I would have to drink like 400 Diet Cokes a month. And that's hard to do. That's hard to do, man. That's like 10 to 15 a day. And you'd have to do that probably for months on end.
Yep.
To be honest, like you can't even, there's not enough time in the day to drink that many Diet Cokes. I'm sure someone will prove me wrong, but that's what the beauty of freedom is. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling
exactly. Yes.
But, and I, you know, I switched over to, I eat a lot of whole foods now, but I still eat, like, I eat lots of pineapple, lots of watermelon. I'm not trying to say that's the same as chemicals, but people get scared about sugar. If we're going to go catch walleye that are like in a sewage lagoon, maybe we're going to have an issue with these things, but they're not going to live there anyways. I just think it's about moderation. And I think I just really get grumpy about some of this fearful promotion because, okay, think about what that guy said.
Mm-hmm.
What's his alternative?
Exactly.
He's not suggesting something else to do. That's what drives me crazy. We can sit here and bitch and moan about the pollution, but what is the alternative? And I don't like some of the messages that are being sent out there because it's like, you're telling me I can't do this. You're telling me I can't do that. Well, what do you want me to do? So I'm willing to listen. And I'm telling you that, you know, if, you know, in Washington, go have some salmon, go have some seafood. You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Like the chances of it killing you is you'd have to eat so much of it. Have a balanced diet. And you're going to be just fine. I'm telling you. So,
well,
sorry. I'll get off my back.
I'm glad you said that because at the end of the day, it needs to be said because at the end, there's no counter argument when you see this stuff being posted. And, you know, although it's a good reminder that we have to be conscious of what we're throwing down the drain so that we're not compounding the issue. But at the end of the day, you're right. Like, what's the resolve? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then what do? Do we eat vegetables that have pesticides and all kinds of herbicides on them? Like, is this what we like? Anyway, we could go down that rabbit hole, but there's no need to because I
agree, man. But when a lot of our social media folks, when they're preaching about the negatives, you need to offer an alternative. You do. Otherwise, you're not helping people. You're not helping people, and that's what frustrates me about some of the influencers out there. They're good at clickbaiting, but they're not offering an alternative, and that's sad, man. That's really sad.
100%.
Now, I don't want the alternative to be buy my elixir, send me $300 so I can have my colon cleansed. Like, I don't need that done either. But I know that sometimes that is the part two of those influencers. That does happen, and that's not good either. But anyways, I digress.
No, well, I'm glad you did, because it's a great point to hammer home. Now, on a good note, things like you said that are coming back, you shared this, I believe, in our group chat.
No, that was Jim. Jim shared that. Isn't that cool?
Jim that shared that?
Yes, that was Jim. That's amazing.
I haven't, like, this is a true unicorn, is it not?
Well, it's not a unicorn, but this is one of the cool fish that I think that people don't realize that they've seen. So the Iowa darter, I'm going to zoom in on this picture just for my own interest, because there's some neat things about the Iowa darter. So if you look at the color on the top one is a male, okay? So the dorsal fin has a bright red or orange bar or band, and there's blue in it, right? And I have seen those males so colorful, and I've seen people tell me, oh, it's a rainbow darter. But it's not. Rainbow darters live in southern Ontario. They're in the Grand River, they're in the Sauble, the kind of like our southern rivers. These things are everywhere, man. This is up in the St. Lawrence. I caught these things in Algonquin Park and Back Lakes. These things are everywhere, but they're just a beautiful little darter. And their name is Ethiostoma exile. That is their scientific name. So I like their exile because they've been exiled. They live in like really odd places, but they live in, I think they have a distribution like up north of Algonquin and up into northwestern Ontario, the Iowa darter. It's an amazing, and these fish are only, a big one is probably 50 millimeters long, 50 millimeters. So 3 inches, that's it. Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Because I honestly thought that this was a rainbow darter. That's what I kind of thought when I saw
it's an Iowa darter. It's a native species. And Kate is a researcher and a social media person from the St. Lawrence Institute. And they do some really cool work down there. And if you're not following their Facebook page, which is where this came from, follow them on Facebook or on Instagram. They're always out doing field work like I am, and they're always promoting cool stuff, even common but not well understood species like the Iowa darter. So there you go. Very cool.
Cool stuff. Well, thanks, Jim, for sharing that. I thought it was you, Jay, that did, but I appreciate that. Nonetheless, as I said, it's a group chat, so sometimes you don't necessarily know where it's coming from. And also, and now I do believe you shared this, or at least this was on one of your pages. And again, I think we've all seen a Mad Tom at one occasion. I know Jay mentioned it before we went live. You've seen them on the CFN Fish Off. There's different species.
Yeah.
But you need to explain to me, and I don't mean to criticize by any means.
I'm going to show you a picture of one.
But when I see these being stocked and the number's 34, I'm thinking that like that's kind of like peeing in the ocean. Or am I wrong?
No.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you a picture first, and then we'll talk about it. So I'm going to show you this picture. And oh man, dude, you're testing my my abilities tonight. I'm learning how to drive here with. Isn't it terrible?
I'm honored that you even said that. I don't know how I could possibly test your.
Okay. Is it this one? Ah, crap. Yeah, it must be this one. Okay. No, I'm going to find it. One sec.
Okay.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I got to pop this one out. See, when I'm at home and I'm going to do this, I have it all queued up on different.
There
okay.
It is.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Notice the name on the bottom. So this northern Mad Tom is from the Detroit River. No, sorry, wrong. This is the St. Clair River. The ones in the video are from the Detroit River. This is a full-grown female northern Mad Tom that I caught, I think, in 2012. It was 1 millimeter shy of the all-time biggest one, 130 millimeters, Scotty. 130. So about that.
Wow.
About 6 inches. Okay.
Wow.
This lovely lady, when I was posing her for this picture, while she was on my casting couch, she stabbed me several times. And I had Mad Toms have venom. Okay, so unlike channel cats and bullheads, which don't have venom, Mad Toms have venom. This fish here is one of the rarest fish in Canada. What tells it apart from other Mad Toms is a couple features. Number one, the spines here are actually heavily serrated. There's actually a bunch of little spines coming off the back right there. Okay.
Wow.
The other part of it is these unique. It's actually not. It's pretty. See this little coloration pattern here with these two eyes. They're called eyes.
Yeah.
Right in front of the dorsal fin. That's consistent on all northern Mad Toms. And the other part that's kind of cool is right here. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but there's no black pigment. The top of the dorsal fin here, there's two dorsal fins. This is the spiny dorsal fin, the soft. The top of the soft one doesn't have any black marks on it. Like it looks white, it's a white edge. Whereas a brindled Mad Tom, which looks almost exactly the same, has dark edges on its dorsal fin.
Jeez.
And they're both genetically different. So this one is called Noturus stigmosus, or the northern Mad Tom. Its cousin in the US is the Piedmont Mad Tom. And get this, its scientific name is Noturus gladiator, because its spines on its, so picture spines going out this way and then a bunch of jagged, like a steak knife, dude. This is like a steak knife on the back side. Those are serrated edges on it.
Wow.
So what's going on in that video is you have U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the U.S. Geologic Survey have been doing work. Those are all caught in the Detroit River, I believe. Andrew Biggs is one of the research biologists on that project. And the coolest way to catch northern Mad Tom, now I've caught them with trawl net. Trawling works well. Seining works okay, but they're typically in deeper habitats. And those are all big ones in that bin. Like those are all like lunkers. Their number one way of catching them is in minnow traps. Using a minnow trap, Mad Toms love to hide in places, just like, noodling for, how guys go noodling for cats and they stick their arm in a place. Well, catfish love to get into places. So Mad Toms love to get inside of things. And so minnow traps are excellent places to hide. And what they'll do is they'll bait them. And I actually have a quote from a biologist from a long time ago. He told me they love a good sharp cheddar. So a good chunk of cheddar cheese has to be a good sharp one. And when in the US, it's funny in the US, you can actually buy like cheese that's in like perfect squares. Like it's like a cylinder. Like you can't buy that here. We have these stupid flat rectangles. You know what I'm talking about? Most cheese here is not shaped, but US anyway. So it's a long cylinder, a square cylinder. And you just cut a square and you drop it in a sharp cheddar, and they love it. Now I've also used dog food and cat food. And actually, if anyone's out there doing minnow trapping, dry pet food is about the best thing you can use. And what cheese works too, though, and why cheese works, cheese will last for days in a minnow trap. Days. Pet food will last for a little while, but you have to change it every time. I find pet food does work great, but it dissolves. Yeah. If you're going to set a trap and leave it for a while, use cheese. Try cheese. If anyone's out there, you want to, if you have a minnow trap on a dock, put some cheese in it. Like I'm telling you, and don't eat a lot. Just a good chunk of cheddar cheese works really good.
So I used to stuff when I was trying to feed the walleye. I would stuff cheese sometimes if money was good, or as you said, cat food. Those little small little film containers. Yeah. Perfect. Perforate the top of it, even the canister if you want. Throw that in a minnow trap and Yeah, you're
Perfect.
going to have everything in that freaking thing.
Perfect, man. Yeah.
So this isn't a stocking. This is obviously a creel sample, and he's just putting back what
I think what they've done is they were actually retrieving their traps, and they probably retrieved the traps, and they surveyed the fish, they counted them, they aged them, probably sexed them, and they're just letting them go after being caught in the traps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good find to see that rare of a fish show up, because at the end of the day, that's a concentrated number, really, when in the grand scheme of things. Would it not be? Would that be considered a good number of them in a
yeah. And I think what makes them hard to their distribution in Canada is very limited. It's only in the Detroit River, the St. Clair River, Lake St. Clair, and then the Thames River. And even in those places, they're rare. In fact, the places where they're catching those, Scotty, in the Detroit River are in the shipping lanes, in the high current shipping lanes, in anywhere from 3 to 10 meters of water.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're down there hiding under rocks and stuff. Like it is amazing. So they might be abundant though in the Detroit River, but they're still considered at risk because think about it, dude. You have all of this country and they're only found in between Sarnia and basically the bottom of the Detroit River, right? So
kind of goes without saying. Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
Very, very cool. Just in case things weren't working out as a biologist, I just wanted you to know, Jason, that they're hiring for CEOs. So anybody that's becoming a conservation officer, by all means, there's the link. This is your chance because there are openings available. It is a tough job. It's a grueling job. It's a demanding job. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. If you talk to the CEOs themselves at the many shows that we have the luxury of observing and being at throughout the course of the winter, they're great people to talk to about their experiences and what they see. Yeah. But there's also a need for it. And that's the unfortunate part is there is a need. Yeah. And but if you are interested, by all means, sign up and away you go.
I think if anyone who's in there, especially younger, there's a lot of younger folks out there who have finished school and are looking for something to do in this line of work. I would be applying in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So 100%. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Great advice there. Well, the last thing that I have our good buddy George Morgan to thank, and of course, we have not done a skill testing question in a while. What's your angle? I think, and George was the last one to win. So
that's right.
We have one tonight, but I wanted to share this, and the reason I'm sharing it is just for I mean, again, not for clickbait reasons, but just to discuss. Is this something that we should be concerned about? Lake Oneida is concerned about the smallmouth population. Obviously, catchy title like this, is it going to crash? That gets at everybody's attention. I don't want to get into the numbers. I don't want to get into too many of the details because a lot of the details that are, I would say, having an effect on the smallies are very similar to most lakes in the Great Lake area, as well as Northern Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba, where you have the presence of goby, where you have the presence of a lot of fishing pressure, where you have lots of walleye in the population. Oneida is one of those lakes that has a very, very strong and vibrant walleye population. So with all of these variables, and the gobies seem to be the ones sort of at the forefront of being the reason they're not seeing a lot of young of the year smallies, obviously because of the invasion of the nest and this and that. They're not saying that it's the only reason, but it's a contributing factor because there's a whole bunch of them. Is this possibly the canary in the gold mine that we should be concerned about? That with all of the same presence and all of the same fish and I don't know, aspects to a fishery exist in Oneida, they also exist in a lot of other lakes. So is this one of these situations where we should really be paying close attention, or what's your take on this, Jay?
So here's my take on what I've been scared of for a long time, and this is more just professional opinion because I don't have data to back this up. When you when we have a body of water, and I'm going to be a little extreme here. Let's talk about I don't know, a Great Lake. We're going to talk about Lake Huron. Lake Huron's a huge body of water, and it has a lot of habitat, a lot of energy flowing through that body of water.
Yeah.
And then we're going to compare that to, let's say we're going to compare this to Lake Huron, Lake Oneida. We're going to go to Balsam Lake, and then I'm going to go to my buddy Gaze's Bass Pond. Okay. On a sliding scale, huge to small, huge to small. When we have something happen to a lake, if something comes in, it takes a long time for those changes to register on a huge body of water like Lake Huron. It takes a lot less time for those changes to happen in a tiny bass pond. I've been saying a long time that gobies are a problem. They are. Gobies have increased growth rates of certain fish species, to the point where I think that gobies are being moved around, not just in Canada, but in the US. I think because people think that they are good for a fishery, they're willing to risk it. It is very possible that in Lake Oneida, because it's such a small lake, smaller, it's still a big lake, but it's not, it only has so much space. And we are finally potentially, because the numbers are not, I haven't, outside of that article, I haven't delved in the numbers too much in the research of it, but definitely raises flags about the impacts of round goby. It makes me think about the impacts of round goby on the Kawartha Lakes a lot. When you think about the Kawartha Lakes, Scotty, you think about, okay, so we've had invaders move into the Kawartha Lakes since they've been dammed.
Yeah.
While I moved in. Okay, they were stocked in some places, but they moved around. In the early 90s, when I was working on rice, black crappie came in. In the early 1990s, you didn't catch a lot of crappie. I'm talking like, this is like 1995, 1994. You weren't catching a lot of crappie, but the ones you caught were giants. 14, 15 inches were common. And over time, there's still crappie there, but their numbers have dropped. Now we're seeing crappie moving through into like Halliburton area lakes, right? Now, are they moving there naturally, or are they moving through on their own? I don't know. Are crappie good for other fish or not? It's hard to say. These lakes are constantly changing, but the small lakes can't tolerate as much change. We are really risking the biscuit here, man. Okay. And I think that round goby have come into the Kawarthas. Well, bluegill came in after the crappie. Now we have round goby coming in. Round goby have been in Rice Lakes since 2008, maybe 2006, something like that. Let's say 20 years. They've probably been, I think it's been 20 years since we've seen them in Hastings, Ontario. And now they're all the way up to Stony, right? They've moved all the way up to Stony Lake, Young's Point. I know they're past Young's Point, and that we know they're in Simcoe. So Kobe's at the top, right? Kobekong. So all these lakes could be greatly impacted by round goby, because these lakes they're not big enough to sustain that kind of impact, that kind of pressure. This is an ecological time bomb potentially waiting to go off. And not much we can do, because once they get in, there's nothing we can do about it. So I'm a little concerned, and I think this Oneida paper, it might be like the warning shot fired.
And this is the whole reason I brought it up. George and I had a great discussion, but the biggest concern that I saw in the article was the young of the year. Folks just aren't catching small smallies, and unfortunately, they might be seeing. I don't want to say the end, because I can't imagine that smallie would be wiped out of a lake, but you're definitely going to see a decline if they're not able to reproduce, if they're not able to get that new vibrant young of the year fish. then yeah, they're under attack, and it's concerning to see what the future looks like for these fish.
Yeah, and I think what's important to realize is that without what I want to look at is you take Lake Oneida and the basic lack of young of the year smallmouth that have been young smallmouth that have been caught, right? So there's a figure in that article that kind of tells the story. Where is it?
There is. You're right. Yes, there is.
Now, yeah. So basically, I can tell the folks. So basically, since 2019, there's been a crazy historic low number of young bass being caught, age 0 smallmouth being caught in their standardized seine hauls. And so a seine haul is a large net fished along the shore, and it's very common to use seines to standardize their area when you're sampling to look at things like young of the year fish, not just smallmouth, but pike, muskie, yellow perch, any kind of panfish. So great tool for sampling small fish in these shallow, warm lakes. And their numbers have just plummeted in the past 7 years. So what does that mean? Well, the years before then, they had some low years, but never back to back. They'd have a couple of low years and then a good year. And
right.
Now that's related. Those good years are related to a good summer, good growth, a good spring spawn. And they're thinking that these last 6 or 7 years of low recruitment is because of brown goby. And we don't know that for sure, but it definitely is worth looking into. And if it's found to be that, I'm curious how the industry will respond to that, because it won't affect Erie as much, but what it will raise a flag is these Oneida-sized lakes. And for folks that don't know, Lake Oneida is just like a rice lake. Yep. Like it's that kind of size of lake. It's a Kawartha-sized lake. So changes in a lake that size can, if it can happen in Lake Oneida, it can happen on any of the Kawartha lakes, really. So, yeah. So, yeah, George. Well, and the buffering of Long Point is because it's such a huge friggin' spawning area, and it's attached to Lake Erie. Lake Erie buffers all of this, right? So all jokes aside, for all those Berkeley plastics catching all those bass, which they do, George, they do. But these larger lakes have a buffer, have a tolerance to deal with these things, but the smaller lakes don't. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of, when George sent me this article, and George, I'm sorry I didn't respond to you, man. I have not been near a laptop much the past month. I've been wearing my waders more than I've been wearing my glasses. Actually, that's a lie. I wear glasses every day, but I bought polarized reading glasses now, so they're
nice.
But, dude, getting old is real, man. Getting old is real. But these larger lakes have a buffer. We'll call it a buffer. It makes the most sense, right? And I think that, yeah, well, it's true. They are affecting the big ones because they catch more of the big ones. But definitely it's something to think about. And I'm curious where they take this article. Now, the article is a news article. It's coming from, who is this? Central New York News. Obviously, there's a little bit of clickbait coming out of Syracuse. I actually thought about sending the article to my friend Barb Elliott and to Gene Gilliland at Bass to see what they thought of it, because I think there's implications in Ontario. Because let's face it, man, those New York lakes are very similar to our inland lakes, our large inland lakes. We don't have a lot of really big lakes like that in Ontario, but we have some good sized ones. But in New York, you have all the Finger Lakes are big, right? And you have Oneida. Champlain is a bit of a monster of a lake.
Yeah.
Oneida's a good one. And Oneida has had some record fishing out of that lake. Like over the years, some of the bass events have caught some amazing catches out of the lake, especially for smallmouth. So
100%.
There we go.
Get back to one of Dave's comments about pike being introduced in Muskoka and wiped out the trout in some lakes. Now the walleye are taking off. It's interesting too when you talk about Rice Lake. For a number of years, I remember when I first started to really fish that body of water, you'd catch the odd pike, and people to this day still don't believe that pike are in Rice Lake, and anybody that fishes Rice Lake knows that they are, and they're starting to show up quite regularly now in a lot of Kawartha lakes. So they have definitely become an invasive species, and now we're saying that they're up in the Muskokas, which I believe they've always sort of resided. There's always been pike lakes here and there up in that area.
I think some of these things come in on their own too.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I don't want to say they only came in on their own or they were helped. I'm not, because I don't know the answer for sure, but like it's suggested that a lot of fish that came through the Kawarthas just came through Bay Quinte. It came right up the lock system, right? And it took decades. The same can be said for, and we have to assume that's how gobies moved around the Kawarthas. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think anyone's moving gobies in the Kawarthas. I don't think we're that naive and stupid, but maybe, but I think they've come on their own, and look how little they are, and they managed to move. Pike came from, if you think about pike, there's always been pike like in Gloucester Pool and those places. So they've moved through that way, and they've been in Simcoe. It took them a long time to get into Canal.
Yeah.
But then they got into Balsam, and once they got into Balsam, it seemed like it just started flowing down the other side because that's where the water's going. So I know that a couple good friends, they have a great time pike fishing on Rice Lake now in the wintertime. It's a great pike fishery. So it's hard on the muskies, but nothing we can do, man.
No.
So
at this stage, no. Sorry. Go ahead.
If anything, man, pike are pretty tasty. If anyone's never cleaned a pike, if you know how to clean a pike, I learned just a few years ago how easy it is to clean a pike, and I've regretted not taking out more pike because there's some lakes where I wish I would have taken some home because they shouldn't have been there. And I didn't want to eat them because I wasn't 100% sure how to clean them. And I kick myself now, dude. They're tasty as heck.
No friggin' kidding.
This is great news from George. I love that we're out there doing this work. This is so important. Like this kind of index work. This is the same kind of index work that showed us, that's what gave us that data for Oneida. Yeah. Without this index sampling, we don't have anything to stand on when it comes to science and fisheries management. So this is great that they're doing that. I'm glad it's being done. There we go.
Just had pike for dinner. Good for you, buddy. Awesome stuff. And thanks for some of the back information, George. Really appreciate that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Pike fishing all year round. Yeah, absolutely. They're yep.
So depressing, man. Now I like, how many lures I freaking give to pike, and lures aren't getting any cheaper, man.
I know.
Thank God Berkeley makes good, financially responsible lures, George. So I'm not going to lose all those friggin' e-sockets that are taking all my bass baits. They can have the Berkeley baits because there's lots coming. There's lots more in my box. Don't you worry.
So now Mike is claiming that gobies can climb waterfalls. I was told that they weren't great swimmers.
So there's some species of gobies that are able to navigate. I believe, honestly, I read this in Hawaii. There's some species of fish that's, I don't know if it's a goby or very goby-like. They can like hop up a waterfall, like literally go up a waterfall. Wow. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully we don't get any of those anytime soon. That's all we need. Jay, that's all for me from news items. Was there anything more that you wanted to add before we let you go? And hey, listen, you've been on for almost an hour, so I really appreciate this.
Yeah, it's all good. That's all good. We got a really nice. So I've been on the road. We've had some long days, long commutes. Our job site is only 20 minutes from the hotel tomorrow morning. So after this call, I'm gonna go to the gym. I've been to the gym in like 10 days. Wow. I'm feeling kind of gross about it. I'm trying to be good. Man. Dude, when you're living on the road, you don't eat that great. So I need to be better. So Yeah, so I don't have to get up. I don't have to get up super early tomorrow. I think we're leaving the hotel at 7:30, so that's fine. So it's kind of a bit of a, even though this morning I was up at 4:45, but that's my typical Monday. So yeah, but dude, it's been good chatting, and absolutely. I'm gonna give my trivia, my answer for the trivia for the testing question is, and I said it, I only said it once in the show. And I said, what was the average weight of the winning smallmouth bass to make the top 10 in the recent Long Point Big Bass Derby? To make the top 10 smallmouth, what was the weight, the average weight to make the top 10?
Boom. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of folks that guess, but
yeah,
you did mention it, and if I had a chance to guess, I would.
Yeah, and I did mention this. I did mention what the 10th place was.
Yes.
And if you get that, then you're going to get 2 chances to enter. I'll give you. So if you get that one, I'll give you 2 chances. I'll put your name in the raffle twice because I missed last week. So
that's awesome, Paul.
And of course, if you need to re-listen, if you have to rewatch, you just have to go. You put the answer in the chat.
Yep.
And Scotty and I will check the chat later.
Absolutely.
Same way as 110 Mad Toms.
Awesome stuff. Jay, as always, pal, I can't thank you enough for your time. And of course, all you do, buddy.
Miss Sarah Watson, right there.
Yep. There you go, Sarah. Good job. Well done. Well done, Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
We'll make sure that we have to post it
with that
muskie. With that muskie, that was a heck of a muskie you caught, sir. Congratulations.
Yes, that was a heck of a muskie.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Sarah, listen. Heather likes to ask why I keep loving Facebook posts of girls and their fish, but I can't help myself. That was a beautiful muskie, Sarah. Congratulations.
Amen.
So,
amen.
Yeah. And now she caught that with our friend
Lisa.
Lisa, yeah, that's right. That's amazing. Yeah. So
I don't know. This is sort of random. There is, and I noticed that right at the end of the set. It was right at the end of the show. I can't remember the name of the show, but it's on TVO. Something about caught up, or anyway. And I want to say I could have sworn I saw Lisa on that. So I don't know if they were taping a show or I'm not really sure. I know this is totally random, but Caught Up, I believe, is the name of the show. It's on TVO, and I didn't get a chance to see it. You couldn't press restart to watch it again, but there's a new fishing show on TVO. So
cool. Lisa was on it.
I'm almost positive it was Lisa.
Okay, well, maybe you should reach out to Lisa. Maybe it's time to have Lisa back on CFN.
I think so. It is. I absolutely think it is, with capital Muskie.
That's right. Let's do this. Let's get her back. Oh, top water, Sarah, you're killing me. Top water.
Wow, well done, sir. Jay, go work out. Go do you.
I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I'm gonna have a Ryan Coke and go to bed. I'm gonna keep it real. All right. Okay.
Attaboy,
See
buddy.
you guys.
You enjoy. You take care. Thanks, folks, for another great show. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the great comments. Sarah, congratulations to you. As I said, appreciate that. Jeff, nice to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. Again, it is CFN Live. It is going to be a busy week this week. We've got Turning Tuesday tomorrow with Mike. I'm going to have Danny, my other partner, on for the Power Hour. And then a special thing that's happening on Thursday at 7 o'clock. KBC is coming on. Of course, it is time to hand out some awards. It's time to update our community with everything that's going on. And, of course, CFN is the production for KBC. So anything that they do online, on social media, of course, we're going to be the ones that help produce that for them. And KBC is one of those groups that just continues to grow. Lots more anglers, lots more events, lots more fun. So stay tuned to that. Again, thanks so much for all of you for tonight. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Again, if you haven't downloaded it, please make sure you do so. This is something that we're hoping will gain immediate traction based on the educational focus that it leans towards. Of course, regs are so important with new anglers and, of course, anglers that have never angled in Canadian waters before. We got to get them in the know before they throw. So help us with that and spread the word. Download it and make sure you share it. That's all I ask. Folks, have yourself a great night. Hope you have a great week. If we don't see you again this week, no hard feelings by any means. I know people's lives are busy, but just know we're working very, very hard to promote as many of these great events and initiatives that we can that's going on out there. And, of course, I have the help of Lawrence, Big Jim, and, of course, Jay Barnucz. Until tomorrow or until next Monday, whichever comes first for you. We look forward to seeing you. Have yourselves a great week. Love you all, and take care. Peace. Dave, take us away.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, I guess we've run out of time. So I've enjoyed it, but I'm going to do something I haven't done since season 1. Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end.